Should've known better than to let you go alone. It's times like these, I can't make it on my own. Restless days and sleepless nights, and I can't wait to see you again. I'd rather spend my time waiting on your call. How can I tell you, babe, my back's against the wall. I need you by my side to tell me it's alright, 'cause I don't think I can take anymore. Is this love that I'm feeling? Is this love that I've been searching for? Is this love? Or am I dreaming? Is this the love? 'Cause it's really got a hold on me. Hold on me. Hey guys, I don't really love silver, but oh my gosh, look at this. 100 ounces of 2018 Czech Lions. Apologies out to Silver Game of Thrones, who had a Czech line on the other day, and I was saving this show for later, and I was like, man, he's gonna be like, hey, you shouldn't have did that, man, because you made my little Czech line, like second rate. No, man, they are all first rate. All these Czech lines are first rate. And I had been wanting to get these for a while, but I can tell you right now, I should have went after the Archangel Michael Ukrainians before I went after this, because these actually stayed lower in premium, and the Archangel Michaels went to the moon. And as you guys saw in an earlier video today, I paid a little too much for those coins, but they were the last sovereign coin I didn't have. The last one. And since I've been a greedy little pig the last few months, getting the coins I wanted to get for my globalization of my stack, for the silver 5150 on location later, I bit the bullet, guys, and I'm talking like close to $50 for each coin, those Archangel Michaels. But you know what? They don't bring me any more satisfaction than these. I mean, honest to Pete, dude, look at these. These are gorgeous. Now, I can tell you the 2020s, and these are 2018s, or the 2019s, I guess, where, the lion has a crown on its head and is strutting around and stuff. I'm not as big a fan of that design as I am of this. Oh, yes, that's right. That is a kilo. Quick story about that. So, I went after these Czech lines, and these are rolls, by the way, of 25, I believe. Okay? Rolls, I'm not going to open those up because it's going to make the display too big, and I want to try to keep them in the rolls if I can. I think there's enough out here. But I was going after 100 of these, and they were on Johnson Matthey, on JM Bullion for a long time, and I was like, okay, I'll just go in and get them. Well, I didn't have enough money to get them all at once. I was like, so I'll get 70, which is here, and around here. And then that would, leave me just 30 to get when payday came around. Well, payday came around, and I'd been yakking about them, and I go check them out, and there's only 6 left. I was like, oh no, how am I going to do 100? Because I've got to do 100 ounces. I'm silver 5150, and I could be completely mad to get less than 100 at this point. So I had to opt for an overly priced kilo. But you know what? Looking at it now, I do not mind the $960 I paid for it, because if you try to get it now, you can't. And according to my account where I got it at AppMex, it actually retails now for about $1,090. So, $130 premium that I've earned on it so far. I don't know if they give me that for it, but I don't want them to give me anything for that for it, because you know why? Because I plan to spend these. These are $2 according to the Czech Republic. And as Silver Game of Thrones says, you can tell who's running that country because, well, there's that face. At any rate, beautiful, beautiful coins, man. Beautiful coins. And I'm wondering if you guys are, that's right. These are gold. These are gold. And if you haven't noticed, I'm here at Baby Ducks. She was kind enough to let us use her space again to film this and stuff. And she's the one on top of the Isle of Man gold and the gold eagles you saw she had, the 1/10thers and stuff like that. She's got this gold. She is big on gold. And she's long gold versus silver. The opposite of me. But, I don't care what my stacker friends do, as long as they stack something. Good Lord, stack something. Even if you have to stack copper, if you don't have a lot of money, just stack something that's going to be a hard asset and has been, made in the likeness of money anyway. But of course, if you can get nice stuff like this, man, this is what you want to do. This is what you want to do. So she's got these gold lines. She picked them up at JM Bullion, I believe. They're like the last 2 there. And they were, gosh, I think about the same as the Isle of Man one. The spot price was 16.20. She got these for 17.40, and now I'm pretty sure they're running close to $2,000. So that is the appreciation. We love to appreciate, guys. We never know what coin is going to explode or blow up and become really hot. So just get as many as you can. Now, Silver Game of Thrones turned me on to a really, really great deal at Provident today. They've got the stackable owls today, and I don't know if Golden State Mint makes those or if those are part of the Silvertown collection, but $18.69, any quantity, 18.69 a piece at Provident. Take advantage of that. I didn't have the heart to tell them, but I blew all my money today on the Archangel Michaels, but that's all right. I think it's worth it because, like I said, it's the last sovereign coin I'm going to acquire. All right, so market today. Oil dropped below $20 a barrel. Can you guys believe that? I haven't seen those prices. Well, gosh, I don't even think I was paying attention when those prices were out. Got down to $19.40, I think, a barrel. All right. And of course, that is just killing the fracking business, and it is really hurting the former Soviet Union, Russia, because a lot of their money is in commodities. A lot of their money is in palladium and timber and oil and energies and stuff. Got natural gas and stuff over there, and so this deflation that we talked about this morning is hurting a lot of countries and hurting a lot of their commerce. They're going through the same thing we're going through, by the way. They're having to limit the amount of people that can work. They're having to skeleton crew, for business and stuff. Some businesses have to shut down in order to feed this coronavirus. But, that's just kind of the way it goes. And so as the deflation creeps in, it sets us up for inflation and hyperinflation later. Speaking of the markets, equities today, they were down pretty far on some bad news that, there was some reinfection going on. There was some recross contamination going on. And some areas were lapsing back into corona. And so markets were down like 600 or 700 points to start with. But they managed to chop their way higher and got up, to around, I think, 400 and change down instead of 600 down by the end of the day. But the thing that's really irritating me, like I said this morning, is that metals are being forced to follow them using the manipulation that the Treasury or the Presidential Group on Capital, the President's Working Group on Capital Markets, let's get that right, also known as the Plunge Protection Team, doing things like buying commodities exchange paper contracts and selling those into the market, or spoof selling those into the market like they're going to actually sell, and causing the price to either stay down on metals or to come down on metals if they're having a great day, like they did to silver. Like they did to gold on yesterday. All right, so move right along. I noticed in the news today that JP Morgan, they are tightening their requirements on mortgage lending. So back, when things were really loose and easy, and I think even earlier in the 2000s, man, you could like throw yourself at a bank and a loan would stick to you. Whereas now they're going back to the old ways. I don't know if a lot of you guys remember this, but before you used to have like 20% down. You had to have like 20% down to buy a home and really good credit. I think the credit score requirement now by JP Morgan is like 720 has to be your credit score, and you got to have 20% down if you want to get a home loan from them. But you know what? They're getting so much money from the Fed. It's ridiculous. If I had to use an example, how it would pertain to us if we got the same sweetheart deal that the banks are getting. Imagine that the Fed gave you a credit card, and on that credit card, it had 21 Brazilian dollars, okay, meaning that it had no limit on it. And you could spend as much as you wanted, or, something like that. But you had to pay it back. You had to pay it back in a 400-year period at a negative interest rate. So that meant you got paid to use it, you got paid to spend it, and you got paid to pay the minimum payment. Who wouldn't want that? Who would want that deal? That's like the awesomest thing ever. And that's what they've got. They're getting away with it. And we're getting the $1,200 checks, which I put mine to good use today. But when you think about it, it is such a raw deal because it's the banks that got us in this mess. They should be going to jail instead of getting sweetheart deals and bailouts. Nobody should be getting a bailout right now. If people need to learn how to make a business strong, and a strong business makes a strong business community, and it makes for a strong economy in the country. All right. So I was chatting with a subscriber today, Marcus, about the new 2021 gold and silver eagles. I think that those are going to have a design change on them. He showed me a story from CoinWeek today, and if you haven't seen that, go to coinweek.com, I think, and they have news writing for coins, and that story is in there. And it's a pretty lengthy but pretty informative story. So my question is, do you think we should start loading up on 2020 Eagles? I've got plenty of Eagles and stuff, but if these Eagles, the 2020s, are going to really pop, because of the seminal year we're in, then maybe I should get a couple more because, I got those PGCS ones from APMEX. Or should we save our dry powder and maybe load up on the 2021s? If you guys like gold, the same thing for gold. Should you buy more 2020 gold eagles today and gladly pay for some 2021 eagles with the changes on Tuesday? That's Wimpy from Popeyes. Look. So just think about that. If you want to comment on it, please let me know. As far as the home loans, I'm wondering if that's going to start manifesting itself in the auto loans. If anybody's buying a car out there and they want to discuss, that they are thinking about purchasing, or they've talked to a dealer recently, is the dealer acting kind of goofy and squirrely about lending money, or are they doing like multiple credit checks and all this stuff? I know when I went to buy my car, and I did a video on that here a couple of months ago, about, getting a nice car before the credit system freezes. And I was a little early. I'm always a little early to the party. But that was one of the reasons, is because I knew credit was going to start tightening up, and it was going to make things very weird for people who want to buy big ticket items. I hate to keep shouting out to Silver Game of Thrones, but he made a very good point today about how you're going to have to rely on yourself once these, support systems and, service systems break down, where you just can't take your car in, or you just can't, get your car washed, or you can't get the appliance repair guy to come by because, this Corona thing and the economy slowed down, people have gone out of business. You have to rely on what you have and how to make things out of other things. You're going to be like the Cubans here during the embargo. Be making chicken soup out of chicken poop, right? Well, that's one of the reasons why I bought a really nice car, a really durable car. And even a Sequoia I have is a base, it's more like a baseline model, to where it has more hand activated controls than, say, like a lot of electronic fluff. I don't have a lot of that there. So anyway, let's see what's happening with the auto loan system. We know that they've been channel stuffing cars in ports and all kinds of places. Warehouses and stuff, trying to make it look like there's a lot of sales going on in the auto industry. And when you look at the car lots don't look that full. So you can go on there and they try to, get all the money they can out of you when they're actually desperate to sell. So there's a lot of games going on with that. So again, abundance of inventory in things we don't need, and shrinking inventories in things we're going to need, that's going to lead to hyperinflation. Let's get into that. So hyperinflation, what would it look like for us? Well, first, it seems that like some of the fund management firms out there, and when I say fund management, we're talking about institutions that handle 401ks and retirement plans, right? So these guys are handling retirement plans, and there used to be a requirement in 401ks, 403bs, 403cs, where you would have to make mandatory withdrawals, I think, at the age of 70. At least that's the way it is in the United States. But I work for the federal government, and I got an email the other day that says, hey, we know that there's like a mandatory withdrawal period, requirements, when it's time for you to retire, or if you retire and you still have, your retirement plan and you have to make mandatory withdrawals. Well, we're going to redact that. We're not going to have any of that. So you can just go ahead and leave your money in there as long as you want. And you know why that is, guys. Because hyperinflation was supposed to kick off for us when the baby boomers, or the people that were born, right after the war, World War II, they were going to start drawing their retirements out and putting it out into the economy and buying everything that they wanted, right? And so, the mandatory withdrawal was going to help that along. And so we were looking at hyperinflation here in the next couple of years. But notice how they're making it a lot easier for the banks to keep, money inside these accounts, or the retirement funds to keep money inside these accounts, because they don't want it coming out into the general economy and really blowing things up. Let's see. So we got the fund management firms doing what they're doing, all right? And when you have hyperinflation, it starts out with limited resources like we're talking about. And to give you an example, like what's going on right now with that is, we have all these ships that are waiting offshore with supplies, and businesses are closing left and right. Everything will be limited at that time, except for the stuff you don't need. Like if the cruise lines are going again, there'll be plenty of cruises. There'll be tickets for Disney. There'll be, movies galore, and you can go out and there's just plenty of that stuff. But like gas and, well, there might be plenty of gas. There's a glut of oil right now, $19 barrel oil. Unbelievable. But, there won't be, say, a lot of food. You had like some, like I said, you had some ranches closed and stuff, with the pig farms and stuff. But I know a lot of Texas cattle ranches, they're going to keep going and stuff like that. But it's just going to be the things we need, eggs, bread, butter, kitchen table stuff, paper supplies, things that we use, non-durable goods. These things are going to be in short supply, but luxury items like, Philippe Patek watches and, Bulgari, products and, Gucci and, what's that? Louis Vuitton stuff. Nobody's going to, have any problem getting that because it's going to be available. But that's good for us because at the time that everything else is in deflation, for the things you don't need, silver and gold will be in inflation, right? And their purchasing power will be maxed out at a time when a lot of these luxury items that you may not have wanted when you couldn't afford them, you could easily afford now, and you'll help yourself to them. But, it doesn't stop just there. I mean, you can go ahead and you can buy into, certain goods and services you want. For example, if there's a nice house you want, I'm always talking about getting a coastal beach house. I'm going to use my silver to kind of do that. I am long Royal Canadian Mint, by the way, probably to the tune of about half my stack. Well, not quite, about 7,000 ounces, but I would certainly love to buy a nice house on a ski resort in Calgary if the reversion to fair value actually happens. Real estate comes down. Without a 30-year fixed mortgage or even a 20-year fixed mortgage or even 15 or 10, it's a lot harder to buy a house without those things. And without people buying, the prices come down. So you have a deflation in the housing market, inflation in silver and gold. Yes, and you're in position to buy the home of your dreams if you volume stacked. Now, volume, 100 ounces, that's a lot of silver, man. Gold, 10 ounces, good gravy. That is a lot of gold for anybody. But 1,000 ounces, and now you have more than most kings of Europe had back during the 600s, 700s, and 800s AD. All right, let's go ahead and start to wrap this up. I think that's going to cover it on hyperinflation, but understand that the reason why silver and gold are up now, are down now, and why the premiums are going up is because they can sniff out inflation. Gold and silver can sniff out hidden inflation and hidden hyperinflation because as sound money instruments, they crave it. Gold and silver, they have no other purpose but to basically do an accounting for all of the bad banking practices that is out there. It'll take some officialdom to get them going and stuff, but right now, gold and silver, they can smell it. I don't care what they put the spot price at, cheating at the COMEX and doing all kinds of stuff. And by the way, the LBMA, the London banking establishment that hands out gold, they've been caught short a couple of times this last couple of weeks on not being able to deliver, and they've changed the rules on how they deliver gold. Do you know now if you get gold from the LBMA or from the COMEX, you used to be able to get, I think 40 ounce bars, 100 ounce bars, and 400 ounce bars. And they got caught short, couldn't do the 40s, ran out of hundreds, and then they were going to do the 400s. But then they found out if somebody else hit them again, that they were going to have to somehow divvy up the 400s and make it so, more people could access them. So they actually had the rules changed at the COMEX to where if somebody wants to take delivery of gold, they would have to accept a stake in a 400 ounce bar if they didn't have a 400 ounce order for delivery. See what I'm saying? So they're rehypothecating one bar of gold for multiple clients, but saying that we have to keep them in our vault and people can't take physical delivery. So they're hurting. They're hurting. And this thing is coming down. I'm telling you, the LBMA and the COMEX, they're going to really, really go to the mat face first when people start to ask for delivery more and more, and that's happening. All right. So I am going to not do a bar hopping show on Friday. All right. I'm not going to do a bar hopping show on Friday. I will do morning update tomorrow, and then I'll put together something in the afternoon. Me and G-Man are probably just going to go through some different types of really cool rounds and denominations. But then on Friday, I'll do a morning report, but there'll be no bar hopping on Friday. You guys have been drinking too much. You don't need to be out bar hopping. Just dry out for a little bit. I know. You love getting loaded and then praying to Jesus the next morning saying, please, spare me. But what we will do on Saturday, again, Silver Game of Thrones, he inspired me to go ahead and do more of a prepping video. So we're going to look at some more toys. We're probably not going to look at very much silver or gold at all. We're going to look at everything else you're going to use to support your silver position, to support your precious metals position, to support your money. As James Bond says, yes, you're the money. That's right. So we're going to make sure we support that. And look at some, security things, and look at some food storage, and look at, some other, water type things, and even a take on clean air that I think you're going to enjoy. And we're going to do that on Saturday. So we'll have a nice big prepper show on Saturday. Just cruise through the rest of the week with updates and whatnot, and any kind of surprise updates. I'll go ahead and do that. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you to all of the senior and junior members out there that inspire, support, and energize me, because it's not easy doing this stuff. But we're passionate about it. We love doing it. We love you guys watching, man. We love your comments. I love getting back to you and talking to you about stuff. And so like, share, subscribe if you feel moved to do so. Tune in if you feel moved to do so. And join me tomorrow morning for a morning update. Let's hope we see some fireworks. It'd be nice to see some fireworks. It'd be nice to see some fireworks tomorrow. Upside for gold and silver. You know they have it in them, and we need to start getting it. Kilo Czech Lion. This thing was expensive as all get out. In fact, it's so expensive it has a nice custom capsule on it. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm glad I got it instead of the last 30 ounces, and I just got the 70 ounces of 1 ounce coins. And me and some friends are going to have a lot of fun blowing these in Calaveri one day when we're over there in Eastern Europe. So, all right, guys, appreciate you. Have a great night. See you in the morning.